my intentions were to do this particular photo sessions with the Fuji X-T3. Really is unbelievable how loud this city is. I'm trying so hard to be a vlogger, but I failed. So I'm just trying to add a little something different to my videos, and so I decided I had some errands to run, so I decided I would do this commentary section here with a GoPro, and just to do a little something different. Unfortunately, I screwed it up. I was messing around with the settings, and I had the noise cancellation type thing in the GoPro off, so it picked up everything times 10. Every roach that crawled by the streets of New York City. I mean, you could hear the little footsteps, the wind. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And you know, I was tempted to just use it, but I'm kind of trying hard to step up the quality of my videos, and including the audio quality. Something I still have a lot to learn about. So my original intentions for this particular photo session was to shoot it with the Fuji X-T3 and the Sigma 18-35 with the through the Fringer adapter, and I picked that lens for this shoot because I did get a artist studio, an artist workspace. And I rented that place because of that, because it had the paint, as you'll see in the video, it has the paint things and the paint brushes and paint cans, and it just had a really nice look to it. It has some funky furniture in there, so I thought it was pretty cool looking. I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I thought the Sigma 18-35 would be the perfect lens for this sort of thing, because I wanted to get a lot of full body kind of environmental type stuff going on, and try to get that vibe. I wanted to kind of do like a lifestyle type pictures. I don't know if I fully did that, but that's at least the vibe that I was going for. I did very little edit. You'll see in the end, I did very little editing to the pictures in terms of skin correction and all that. Yeah, I did some basic adjustments, contrast, and even some color toning. But I didn't want this to be a beauty shoot type, style type of thing. But a lot of things went wrong for this photo session, and a lot of it was my fault. Let's say all of it was my fault, or if I couldn't fix it, I'm gonna say it was my fault. And it basically comes down to just scheduling too much for myself over 2 days. The day before this photo session, I had a music video shoot. Now the video shoot went great. Actually, I'm gonna say, in my opinion, probably the best music shoot that I've done so far in terms of quality and just things going the way I wanted them to go and get in the look that I wanted. But it was a long day. I was in 2 different locations. Normally I would split something like that into 2 different days. One was a park in Queens, the other one was a location in Brooklyn. Now, okay, technically Queens and Brooklyn, the locations are only like 10 miles apart, but you gotta understand, these are like 10 New York City miles, not Wisconsin miles or whatever. 10 New York City miles could, you're talking about like 67 red lights and 42 stop signs, and probably you're gonna get stuck behind 2 garbage trucks. I mean, this just it takes a while. So normally I would have done something like that on 2 different days, but because it's winter and you don't know what the weather's gonna be like on the next weekend, we decided, you know what, it's decent weather, let's do it all in one day. It was a long day. I think we started shooting at 10:30, and I didn't get home until 9 at night, right? And so I get home. What I have to do is back up my files, because there's no way I can take a chance of losing that. And then of course I got to recharge some batteries for the photo session. I got to check which stands, which lights I need. There's a whole nother preparation process. The next day comes. Honestly, I was achy, sore, from that long day of shooting music videos. I personally find that shooting music videos are a lot more physically demanding than photo sessions, because you've got gimbals, it's just a lot more to deal with. So I was exhausted, but I wasn't going to cancel. I already had my money in the studio. The model was already on her way. I know I've been canceled on at the last minute. I hate that, so I wasn't going to do that. So I went. And because I'm there and I'm already feeling exhausted, I'm tired physically, mentally, and so when things went wrong, they just became frustrating, and I couldn't figure things out. The first thing that went wrong was, again, I took the X100F. I couldn't get the Godox lights to trigger, and because I didn't have any time the day before to test it, I never tested it. I'm pretty sure it's a firmware issue. The firmware wasn't up to date, and so they never worked. But again, I'm there. I'm getting frustrated now. Luckily, the studio has some really nice windows, like I said, all around. Lots of natural light coming in, and so it was not an issue. I took some great pictures with the X100F. All right, so I'm thinking my headache's over. Time for the XT3. Within a couple of shots, the XT3 ends up somehow in crop mode. Now, I don't have any function buttons assigned to crop mode, or to the sports finder mode, I think it's called. But somehow it ends up there. I don't know how. I'm going through the menus for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I can't seem to find how to get out of this. Time is ticking. We've barely taken any pictures. We've been there, I think they're like 40 minutes, and all I did was like 20 or 30 shots with X100F. I've only got this space rented for a certain amount of time. The model's waiting on me. And all of this, now keep in mind, I got home later that night, or later that day. I decided, well, now what happened with my XT3? I'm looking at it. Within a minute, I was able to find it. But in that particular moment, again, my body was achy. I was tired. It's getting old. I'm getting old and out of shape. That's what it was. So it's just a little overwhelming. I ended up just putting down the Fuji and picking up the Canon 5D Mark IV that I had video recording the photo session, and just went with that. And the pictures came out fine. I'm fairly satisfied with the photo session. I don't think it came out too bad at all. I'm going to say that there was a little bit of an adjustment period. One of the reasons I went with mirrorless cameras is that EVF. It's just nice with all the histogram and all those things that are in there that you can add and look at, and what you see is what you get experience is all great. But I'm going to admit, it was kind of nice just shooting it a little bit more simplified. It was a little sometimes annoying with the way the AF points seem so centered. With these mirrorless cameras, most of them, the AF points go pretty much out almost to the very edge. So that was sometimes, you had to reframe to match your AF points. But it was, I don't know, I found it kind of enjoyable to just a lot, the optical viewfinder, just a simpler shooting experience. You keep your eye on the light meter, depending on the situation, if you're backlit or frontlit or whatever, anything weird going on, you underexposed, overexposed, depending on what you're looking for. But it was actually kind of nice. Like I said, the 5D4 makes great images. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't trying to say like that I expected anything bad from that camera. I just meant in terms of the EVF and versus the optical viewfinder, that whole experience. I found it kind of not so bad, going back to basics, or back to where I started, I guess you could. Don't get me wrong, my mirrorless cameras aren't going anywhere. I'm just saying that it was kind of alright. So now in a couple of days, I've got my next photo session going on at my newly acquired space studio, whatever you want to call it. I made a video on that recently, that I just put it out a couple of days ago. It's just a little space. It's nothing much at all. It's a little hole in the wall that I found. It's cheap, it's affordable, it's nothing fancy, but it's going to be my space. I'm going to have my first portrait session there. So you can guys, if you want to see that, I'll probably going to use the Fuji and the 18-35 for that because it's a tight space, so I think it should work for that. So you guys can look forward to that in case if you're interested in seeing that. I know I'm excited to shoot there to see if that's something I'm going to be doing. Just my little experience here with the busy weekend that I had with music and photos. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that I've got so many things going on with video and photos, but you know, I'm not used to that kind of workload. Now, this is aside from my regular 9 to 5 that I do during the week. So I had a pretty hectic week. Luckily the photo session worked out anyways. So anyways, I think that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed, maybe you want to consider subscribing. If you liked it, appreciate if you hit that like button, and I guess I'll see you guys next time.